has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. This is the day the Lord has made. So let us rejoice and be glad. Good morning. I hope you all had a great Halloweeny. Feeling pretty good this morning, which is nice. Cleaned up a lot of dog poop this morning. Got to clean up my poop and got to put away my Halloween decorations. I'm the girl that likes to take the Halloween decorations the day after Halloween. I got to take them down. Take one down, pass them around, 99 bottles of beer on the wall, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, lots to do today. Going to speak to Charlie's soccer coach today because I'm very unhappy with something. So I got to be proactive as a mom, right? Got to go talk to the coach. And just getting ready for, Sunday, gonna cook tonight. I hope everybody is thinking about what they're gonna cook tonight. We're working on some new ways that people can listen to the podcast. So thank you to everybody who clicked on that link for me. If everybody would click on that link for me from laptops and desktops and phones and let me know if it works, that would be wonderful. Thank you for all your sweet messages about my dad yesterday. That was also very thoughtful. Let's try to cover up some of these circles, shall we? And listen, y'all. We vote. If you can vote in person, we vote in 2 days. Very excited to vote. Cannot wait. I'm thinking about maybe taking the kids with me. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about where we were last week in the Bible study. Last week in the Bible study, we realized that Isaac continued to move the wells to find water, and the Pharaoh continued to have his men fill them in. But what God showed us last week is that it doesn't matter if people fill in your well. If the water is meant for you, God will find a way to deliver water. So you don't have to worry about that. If someone fills in your well, you have faith that God will find a way to bring you water, because what is meant for you will be for you and cannot be taken or filled in by anybody else. So it doesn't matter how much they try to steal your water or fill in your well. God's got you covered, folks. So today we're going to move into Genesis book 1, chapter 27. Jacob steals Esau's blessings. Now remember, Esau is Jacob's brother. Okay? Esau is Jacob's brother. So let's see what Jacob is going to steal from his brother. Okay? Okay. One day when Isaac was old and turning blind, he called for Esau, his oldest son, and said, "My son." "Yes, father," Esau replied. "I am an old man now," Isaac said, "and I don't know when I may die. Take your bow and quiver full of arrows and go out into the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare my favorite dish and bring it here for me to eat. Then I will pronounce the blessing that belongs to you, my firstborn son." Hold on. And blocking folks. Blocking, blockity, block, block. God said block. And I said, yes, Lord. Yes, I will, Lord. Yes, I will block, Lord. Okay. But Rebekah overheard what Isaac had said to his son Esau. So when Esau left to hunt for the wild game, she said to her son Jacob, listen, I overheard your father say to Esau, bring me some wild game and prepare me a delicious meal. Then I will bless you, the Lord's presence, before I die. Now, my son, listen to me, Rebekah said. Do exactly as I tell you. Go out to the flocks and bring me 2 fine young goats. I'll use them to prepare your father's favorite dish. Then take the food to your father so he can eat it and bless you before he dies. Remember, Esau was not Rebekah's son. Esau was from another woman. So Rebekah's just looking out for her own. How many people do this in their real life? A lot. Some, maybe your man got kids by more than one person. So you just have to look out for your own. By the way, if you do that, you're biblical, basically. Hope you do it with kindness, but you're not the only one doing it. Okay? Hold on. If my gum bothers you, forgive me. It seems to keep my headaches away. So I'm just trying to keep my headaches away right now. It's almost like it gives my mind something else to focus on. Okay? All right. So, but look, Jacob replied to Rebekah, my brother Esau is a hairy man and my skin is smooth. What if my father touches me? He'll see that I'm trying to trick him and then he'll curse me instead of blessing me. But his brother replied, then let the curse fall on me, my son. Just do what I tell you. Go out and get the goats for me. I love this. So Jacob went out and got the young goats for his mother. Rebekah took them and prepared a delicious meal just the way Isaac liked it. Yo, this is some plotting and scheming. I love it. Okay? Moms will do whatever they have to do to get that blessing for their child. Listen, I'll be cooking the same meal, Rebekah. I'll be cooking the same meal. Then she took Esau's favorite clothes, which were there in the house, and gave them to her younger son, Jacob. She covered his arms and smooth parts of his neck with the skin of the young goat. Savage. Look at, she's following this plan all the way through, okay? She's like, I'm about to cover you with hair. Your father is old. He's not even going to know. I love it. Then she gave Jacob the delicious meal, including freshly baked bread. And Jacob took the food to his father. My father, he said, yes, my son. Isaac answered, who are you, Esau or Jacob? Nail biter, what's he going to say? I don't know. Jacob replied, it's Esau, father, your firstborn son. I've done as you've told me. Here is the wild game. Now sit up and eat it so you can give me your blessing. Isaac asked, how did you find it so quickly, my son? The Lord your God put it in my path, Jacob replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, come closer so I can touch you and make sure that you are really Esau. So Jacob went closer to his father and Isaac touched him. The voice is Jacob's, but the hand are Esau's, Isaac said. But he did not recognize Jacob because Jacob's hands felt hairy, just like his brother's. So Isaac prepared to bless Jacob. But are you really my son Esau, he asked. Yes, I am, Jacob replied. Ooh, the savagery and the lies. Whew. Okay. Then Isaac said, now my son, bring me the wild game. Let me eat it and I will give you my blessing. So Jacob took the food to his father and Isaac ate it. He also drank the wine that Jacob served him. Then Isaac said to Jacob, please come a little closer and kiss me, my son. Yo, this dude knew. This dude knew something was up. He knew. So Jacob went over and kissed him. And when Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he was finally convinced and blessed his son. He said, the smell of my son is like the smell of the outdoors, which the Lord has blessed. From the dew of the heaven and the richness of the earth, may God always give you abundant harvest of grain and bountiful new wine. May many nations become your servants, and may they bow down to you. May you be the master over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. All who curse you will be cursed, and all who bless you will be blessed. As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and almost before Jacob had left his father, Esau returned from his hunt. Esau prepared a delicious meal and brought it to his father. Then he said, "Sit up, father, and eat my wild game so I can give you your blessing." But Isaac asked him, "Who are you?" Esau replied, "It is me, your son, your firstborn, Esau." Isaac began to tremble uncontrollably and said, "Then who just served me wild game? I have already eaten it, and I blessed him just before you came. And yes, that blessing must stand." When Esau heard his father's words, he let out a loud and bitter cry. "Oh, my father, what about me? Bless me too," he begged. But Isaac said, "Your brother was here, and he tricked me. He has taken away your blessing." Esau exclaimed, "No wonder his name is Jacob, for now he has cheated me twice. First he took my rights as the firstborn, and now he has stolen my blessing. Oh, haven't you saved even one blessing for me, Father?" Isaac said to Esau, "I have made Jacob your master and have declared that all his brothers will be his servants. I have guaranteed him an abundance of grain and wine. What is left for me to give you, my son?" Esau pleaded, "But do you have only one blessing? Oh, my father, bless me too." Then Esau broke down and wept. Finally, his father Isaac said to him, "You will live away from the richness of the earth and away from the dew of the heaven above. You will live by your sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck." So when somebody says you're about to get yoked up, that's biblical, just so you know. Jacob flees to Padan Aram. From that time on, Esau hated Jacob because their father had given Jacob the blessing. And Esau began to scheme, "I will soon be mourning my father's death. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." But Rebekah heard about Esau's plans. Ooh, Rebekah is not the one. I'm telling you, Rebekah will look out for Jacob no matter what, no matter who, what time, plate, whatever. Rebekah is not the mother to mess with, okay? I'm just letting you know. Rebekah sent for Jacob and told him, "Listen, Esau is consoling himself by plotting to kill you. So listen carefully, my son. Get ready and flee to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay there with him until your brother cools off. When he calms down and forgets what you have done to him, I will send for you to come back. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" Then Rebekah said to Isaac, "I'm sick and tired of these local Hittite women. I would rather die than see Jacob marry them." Chapter 28. Listen, she's setting it up. She's setting it up. She's telling Isaac, I would rather die than see Jacob marry one of these women, because she wants Isaac to send him away, because she doesn't want Esau to kill him. Look, mother's always thinking one step ahead, y'all. So Isaac called for Jacob, blessed him, and said, "You must not marry any of these Canaanite women. Instead, go at once to Padan Aram, to the house of your grandfather, and marry one of your uncle's daughters." No judgment. May God Almighty bless you and give you many children, and may your descendants multiply and become many nations. May God pass on to you and your descendants the blessings he promised to Abraham. May you own this land where you are now living as a foreigner, for God gave this land to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to stay with his uncle, his mother's brother, Esau knew that his father Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to find a wife, and that he had warned Jacob, "You must not marry any Canaanite women." He also knew that Jacob had obeyed his parents and gone to Padan Aram. It was now very clear to Esau that his father did not like the local Canaanite women. So Esau visited his uncle Ishmael's family and married one of Ishmael's daughters, in addition to the wives he already had. Okay, Esau. His new wife's name was Mahalath. She was the sister of a bunch of people whose names I can't pronounce. Okay? All right. So everybody, meanwhile, back at the ranch, everybody is trying to do what they think Isaac wants them to do. Little do they know that the blessings and direction come from God, not from Isaac. But I get it. Honor thy father. It's cool. Jacob's dream at Bethel. Meanwhile, Jacob left Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. At sundown, he arrived at a good place to set up camp and stop there for the night. Jacob found a stone to rest his head against and lay down. As he slept, he dreamt of a stairway that reached from the earth up to the heaven, and he saw the angels of God going up and down the stairway. It's cool. Right? Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. Everybody, clap your hands. Okay. At the top of the stairway stood the Lord, and he said, "I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham, and the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are lying on belongs to you. I am giving it to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust of the earth. They will spread out in all directions, to the west and the east, to the north and the south, and all the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. What's more, I am with you, and I will protect you wherever you go. One day I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I have promised you." Okay, God. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it." But he was also afraid and said, "What an awesome place this is. It is none other than the house of God, the very gateway to heaven." The next morning, Jacob got up very early. He took the stone he had rested his head against, and he set it upright as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil all over it. He named that place Bethel, which means house of God, although the name of the nearby village was Luz. Then Jacob made this vow: "If God will indeed be with me and protect me on this journey, and if he will provide me with food and clothing, and if I return safely to my father's home, then the Lord will certainly be my God. And this memorial pillar I have set up will become a place for worshiping God, and I will present to God a tenth of everything he gives me." That is where tithing comes into the Bible. He is saying, I will give a tenth of everything I have. Everything the Lord has blessed me with will go back to the Lord. So if you want to know where tithing is introduced, right here. Chapter 29. Jacob arrives at Padan Aram. Then Jacob hurried on, finally arriving in the land of the east. He saw a well in the distance. 3 flocks of sheep and goats lay in an open field beside it, waiting to be watered, but a heavy stone carried the mouth of the well. It was the custom there to wait for all the flocks to arrive before removing the stone and watering the animals. Afterward, the stone would be placed back over the mouth of the well. Sorry, oh my God, people are texting me, they're crazy. Jacob went over to the shepherds and asked, "Where are y'all from, my friends? Where are you guys from? What's up?" "We are from Haran," they answered. "Do you know a man there named Laban, the grandson of Nahor?" he asked. "Yes, we do," they replied. "Is he doing well?" Jacob asked. "Yes, he's well," they answered. "Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the flock now." Jacob said, "Look, it's still broad daylight, too early to round up the animals. Why don't you water the sheep and goats so they can go back out to the pasture?" "We can't water the animals until all the flocks have arrived," they replied. Then the shepherds moved the stone from the mouth of the well, and we water all the sheep and goats. Jacob was still talking to them when Rachel arrived with her father's flock, for she was a shepherd. And because Rachel was his cousin, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and because the sheep and goats belonged to his uncle, Jacob went over to the well and moved the stone from its mouth and watered his uncle's flock. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and he wept aloud. He explained to Rachel that he was her cousin on her father's side. So Rachel quickly ran and told her father. Whew. As soon as Laban heard that his nephew Jacob had arrived, he ran out to meet him. He embraced and kissed him and brought him home. When Jacob had told him the story, Laban exclaimed, "You really are my own flesh and blood." All right, Jacob's about to get a wife. Y'all ready for this? You know they're about to be related too, but at this time there weren't that many people, so everybody was related. Remember, we're all children of God, so we had to come from the same, Now it's a little weird to marry your cousin, but back then you didn't have a lot of options. After Jacob had stayed with Laban for about a month, Laban said to him, "You shouldn't work for me without pay just because we're relatives. Tell me how much your wages should be." Now Laban had 2 daughters. The older daughter was named Leah, beautiful name, and the younger one was Rachel. There was no sparkle in Leah's eyes, but Rachel had a beautiful figure and a lovely face. Since Jacob was in love with Rachel, he told her father, "I'll work for you for 7 years if you give me Rachel, your younger daughter, as my wife." "Agreed," Laban replied. "I'd rather give her to you than anyone else. Stay and work with me." So Jacob worked 7 years to pay for Rachel, but her love for her was so strong it felt like only a few days. Finally, the time came for him to marry her. "I have fulfilled my agreement," Jacob said. "Now give me my wife so I can marry her." So Laban invited everyone in the neighborhood and prepared a wedding feast. But that night, when it was dark, Laban took Leah to Jacob and he slept with her. But when Jacob woke up in the morning, it was Leah. "What have you done to me?" Jacob raged. "I worked 7 years for Rachel. Why have you tricked me?" "It's not our custom here to marry off a younger daughter ahead of the firstborn," Laban replied. "But wait until the bridal week is over, and then we'll give you Rachel too, provided you promise to work another 7 years. Bitch, I know you did not just pull the only bait and switch and then tell this man he got to marry both of your daughters, and now he got to work another 7 years. Oh, hell no. See, now if I was, what's his name? Jacob, I would be like, no, I'm not doing this. Give me the one I worked 7 years for. That's the one I love. I'm not taking this ugly one. No. This is not fair. I just want to say for the record, this is some trickery. So Jacob agreed to work another 7 years. After a week, Jacob had married Leah. Laban had given him Rachel too. So Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved her so much more than he could ever love Leah. He then stayed and worked for Laban for the additional 7 years. Well, here comes God, y'all, because you know God's not going to be happy about this. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he enabled her to have children, but Rachel could not conceive. Oh, really? So they tricked this one and Rachel has to pay for it? So she can't? No, that is some shit. So Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, for she said, "The Lord has noticed my misery, and now my husband will love me." Oh my gosh, that is such bullshit. He didn't love her just because she had kids. He loved Rachel. She soon became pregnant again and gave birth to another son. She named him Simeon. Not even Simon, Simeon. For she said, "The Lord heard that I was unloved, and he has given me another son." Then she became pregnant a third time and gave birth to another son. Well, let me tell you, for a woman he didn't love that much, he was smashing a lot. She named him Levi, for she said, surely this time my husband will feel affection for me, since I have given him 3 sons. Once again, Leah became pregnant and gave birth to another son. She named him Judah. Now I will praise the Lord. And then she stopped having children. Yeah. Now okay. Now listen to me. I don't really see a lesson in any of that. So I have nothing to teach you other than what's coming is Rachel. So we're going to get into next week, chapter 30 of Genesis, where Rachel is like, the fuck is this shit? And I think that what we are missing in Genesis, not missing, but what is emphasized in Genesis is that the value, the only value that seems to be anywhere is on giving birth to children. And apparently sons are the bee's knees here, is what I'm guessing. So when we come back next week, we are gonna learn more about Rachel and her reaction to this issue that's going on here, and there is some craziness that goes down. And oh my gosh, y'all don't even know what's coming. Y'all don't even know what's coming in chapter 32. I'm telling you right now, you do not even want to know. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's some drama, but then some drama. There is some stuff about to go down. Okay? Oh my gosh. Rachel is not having it. And Esau, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Esau's like, oh, you thought I forgot. Okay, you thought you were going to play me and I forgot. Okay. Y'all, we got a lot coming up. That's all I want to tell you. It's about to go down. Let me put my bookmark in here so I don't mess up my pages. But just so you know, we got a lot going on. All right. I love you very much. Please listen to the podcast if you have not done so. Also, go back to the post that I pinned to the top and please see if it works, if that link works from like your desktop and your laptop and your iPhone. We're trying to figure out where it works from. Okay? I love you guys so much. Have a great day.